Hey guys, welcome to the Conversation Starter Show on Football Worldwide, the show where we list, rank and tier all things football and invite you guys, the audience, to get in on the conversation by commenting below. Now today we have a really fun episode. We're going, not clubs, but national teams here.
Let's go, mate.
We're going to go the top 10 greatest national teams. Okay, so this is overall across history, who we think rank as the top 10 national teams.
Yeah, before we get started, make sure you smash that like button.
Definitely.
Click subscribe and check out all the amazing content they have on Football Worldwide.
That's right. Now we're going to start off our top 10 list here. Number 10, now this is a bit of a tough one.
Yeah, man, there's a couple that could have been there.
A couple could have been there, but we're going to go number 10 is Portugal, okay? Now most of you probably just think Cristiano Ronaldo's team, those guys that play around him in the national team, but Portugal has a long history of football and they're a great country. They're a great national team football. Now Portugal have been third in a World Cup before, and they've also been taken to the Euro final and won it with Cristiano Ronaldo as their captain. So they do have a bit of silverware there to boast.
They do, mate.
And I mean, they've boasted some great players, like Luis Figo is one of the ones that comes to mind. He was a great player and was, you know, one of the best in the world during his time. And I mean, I just tune into Portugal games just to see Figo play.
Yeah, seriously.
You know, I mean, so there's plenty of great players that have played for
Portugal. Obviously Ronaldo, and then modern players, you got Bruno Fernandes, who's like killing it.
Yeah, he's
Jota, my boy from Liverpool.
Yeah.
But yeah, great players. Great team, and number 10 on the list.
That's it. All right, who we got for number 9?
Mate, number 9, we've got the Dutch, we've got Netherlands, Holland, whatever way you want to call it.
The Orange Army. The Orange Army, the Dutch,
The Dutch. Yeah, man, like, just amazing team.
That's right.
Okay,
yeah.
Robin van Persie, like one of my favourites growing up. That monster header in the World Cup, the most iconic,
the floppy fish header,
the silly salmon, whatever you call it, man. That's three second places in the World Cup.
Yeah, so they've come close.
They've come close, man. They've been dragged there. And then a Euro as well, and just playing a really attractive football the whole time.
They do, yeah.
So,
I mean, they got like Robben's great player.
Robben, one of my favourites.
Yes, Van Persie. They've got so many great players that have played for them over the years, and that pretty much any point in time, like even now, you've got Van Dijk. Yeah. You've got my boy Stefan de Vrij. Yeah. Okay, you've got so many players that come from the Dutch national team. They're always in those.
They're always consistent, man.
They're always consistent, and I mean, they're so iconic with their Orange Army, as we said.
That's so good.
They stand out. Other than maybe the Ivory Coast might take their orange shine sometimes, but pretty much stand out in any sort of World Cup game. Now, number 8 for us, we're going to go. This is getting tough.
This one's where we've had to go into history a bit.
This is a more historical one. Some of you might be a bit confused by this, but historically speaking, we're going to go number 8 is Uruguay. Or Uruguay. However you pronounce it. I'm not Spanish or Portuguese.
I'm going to say Uruguay, mate.
Uruguay, yeah. Now these guys, we have a pretty intense history with them being Australians.
Yes, indeed.
Couple of World
John
Cup
Aloisi, you know, if you know, you know.
Oh, yes,
okay.
you do. Yes.
But this is, as I said, this is one you guys are like, well, why the heck are they above the Netherlands?
Yeah.
But they've won 2 World Cups.
They have.
And then 15 Copa Americas.
Is
that right?
15 Copa Americas.
15. They had just a spell.
I think that might be the most or second most at least.
Yeah, it'd be up there, man.
That's right.
So, like, they had just this spell where they were just incredible. I think it was like 40s or something like that. It's a while back.
It is a while back.
But it does. We're looking history here, and it doesn't change the fact they've done more than the last couple of teams. So
that's right.
We have to put them on there.
And even modern-wise, you got Luis Suarez, you got Cavani, you got some great players coming out of Uruguay. 100%. So they're always going to be a good team. Number 8,
mate. Number 7, we've got England.
Oh, your boys.
It's coming home, Timmy. It's coming home.
We all know it's coming
2022.
Home. 2022.
It's coming home. We've got a World Cup there. We've got a second in the Euros, and we've just got some iconic players over history. Okay, go the old ones and then go the modern ones. It doesn't matter. You're going to find incredible players.
And like I said, the English Premier League's strong for a reason.
Yeah.
It's not just that, obviously, it's the biggest league in the world in terms of like where it's televised, but the fact that they have so many strong players in the English League 1, English League 2, all those different leagues, it says something about the system. So obviously England has some great players. I mean, you got Steven Gerrard, Lampard, Beckham, Shearer, Michael Owen. You got the list goes on. There's so many good players to play for England. They haven't quite got there in recent times. There's that one World Cup, obviously in '66. I think it was something like that. But
they're always thereabouts.
They're always thereabouts. They're always in the conversation. I know people like to hate on them. I know the fans can be a little bit insufferable at times. Obnoxious. But England is a great footballing nation.
Agreed, mate.
So number 6.
Number 6. Who do you got, bud?
This is 6 and 5 could go either way, but we're going to go as Spain for number 6. Okay, so Spain have won 1 World Cup, which was great to see a few years back. 3 Euros they've won. I think 2 of them were either side of that World Cup.
It was.
I think has
it was just that
before
glorious time of Spanish football with
Golden generation.
Iniesta, Xavi and David Villa, and just holy moly football.
Torres,
it was just the most incredible, arguably the most incredible team I've ever watched.
Yeah. Like, that's going to be another episode we're going to do, is the greatest teams we've ever seen. That's going to surely be in the conversation.
That little section was just stunning football.
That's for sure.
Barcelona, at the same time, Barcelona was winning everything, and it was just an incredible team.
And same with what we said about the Premier League. The La Liga is always one of the best leagues in the world, and it says a lot about how many good players they have all through the ranks there. So Spain's number 6 for us.
Number 5, we're going the Blues.
Les Bleus.
We're going France. Arguably, a couple of years ago is what helped them pump above Spain in this list, because they've got 2 World Cups and we couldn't knock them down.
So that's right.
2 World Cups, 2 Euros, and again, just with all these teams, you're going to have some of the best players in history. They're no exception.
That's right.
Zidane, Thierry Henry,
and even recently Griezmann's a great player. They got Mbappe. They've always got good players.
They've always got good players.
Same in the French league, as much as people like to say the Farmers League and all this kind of crap. Obviously, the French league still a strong league. Got a lot of good French players. I think they're kind of the opposite of Uruguay, where they're more recent. So 98 till now is what's made them so great. Whereas before that, they didn't really do much.
That's true.
But yeah, French number 5 for us. That's strong now.
Number 4.
I'll let you take this one. I'll let you take this one.
Oh, mate, we've got Messi's homeland, the home of Messi, the home of Maradona, the home of football.
to some people.
To Argentinians. But we've got Argentina, 2 World Cups, 15 coppers.
Yeah, that's it. They're the same as Uruguay.
Same as Uruguay.
So that's saying a lot about Uruguay.
It does, man. That's what I mean. That's why they're on the list.
Lots of copper Americas.
And obviously they haven't been as internationally successful the last few years,
dominant the last
despite having teams. And that's why they're still number 4 on our list, because they've got. And throughout history, they've had team after team after team, and they've been competitive and they've been great.
They tend to be better in the attack than in defence. They tend to let them down for some reason. They've got that South American flair.
Ferrari's up front and a Honda Civic up back. Honda Civic, Toyota Corolla.
That could be
Toyota Corolla.
Yeah. Toyota Corolla. I mean, they got my boy Lautaro right now. He's doing some right stuff. Messi's there. Di Maria's been a great player for a long time.
Best stats, man.
When you think football, Maradona's one of the first names and I guess visions to come to mind. Yeah. And Argentina has to be in the conversation of the greatest footballing nations.
Exactly.
But I'm going to go number 3. I'm going to take this one.
You have this.
Number 3, the Azzurri, the great Italian national team, is number 3 for us. So good to see them win another Euro this year. It was good to see it coming to Rome. Now, Italy has 4 World Cups, which is tied with the second most of all time. They've got 2 Euros. The most recent was this year, obviously, beating England in the final. But when you think football, you think Italian passion. That's got to be right up there. Same as Serie A, one of the greatest leagues in the world.
Passion's a great word for it, man.
Passion. It's just so much passion. I've been a huge fan of the Italians since I was a little kid. Other than that brief stint when they...
when you're talking World Cups, you're talking robberies of Australia.
When they robbed Australia with that penalty.
You're talking
Thanks
Italy.
Toddy for putting that away.
But
I mean, besides that, they're just a great footballing nation.
And 4 World Cups, like double the amount of the rest of the list. So
it says a lot about them. So many great players. You've got Baggio, you've got Totti, you've got Maldini. I mean, there's just an endless list of great Italian players. So number 3 on our list, only bettered by these 2. But before we get there, any honourable mentions before we move on? I mean, the Socceroos, obviously. They're probably number 11.
As I said, John Aloisi. Our mate Scotty McDonald.
If you know, you know.
So,
I think
there's definitely...
it's hard because all of them are South American or European clubs, and I think that's just the nature of football. Like, you've got some teams like Japan's done well, Ivory Coast's done well from Africa, like Nigeria's been good in the past, but they just don't quite...
No, they don't
quite get there. Mexico is a decent team, they're always strong. Then Central America,
all those guys, Mexico, Peru, and those type of countries, they've always got a solid team. But
that's right.
I think it's a pretty solid.
I think it's hard to. I mean, actually, the only one I'd say could be on the list is Croatia. Croatia, but because they've got such a short history of being the nature of the country, Croatia, if you just take the history, have to be pretty close to Portugal. So many great players. But number 2 on the list.
Number 2, we're going from what was one of the most passionate countries and fan bases to a very stoic, straight down the line,
stone-faced killers on the football pitch.
Production line of Germany.
It's Deutschland. It's
Deutschland. They are Timmy's homeland.
Got the Idstein last name there. But
I mean, 4 World Cups, 3 Euros, and just like incredible consistency throughout history. Like
consistency.
Well, probably one of the most consistent countries, if not the most consistent.
I'd
say it's the most consistent. Didn't have the highs of, especially the next one we're going to talk about. In peaks, but just consistent.
They're one of those teams.
They're always there. no one wants to draw Germany.
No one ever once have said, yes, we got Germany in the group of the World Cup or the Euros, because they're just a hard ass
and they'll lose a generation, and another one's just...
And there's just a bunch of robots coming through the
like the Volkswagen flipping production line.
There's
like another one coming through.
That's exactly what
just killing it off.
I mean, I actually quite like watching the Germans play, because they're a bit harder than some of the...
they're not rolling on the ground.
They're not rolling on the ground. They don't cry ever, and they're just good to watch. And I mean, they're always a shoe-in for making the semi-finals of any comp they're in. They may not win it, but they're always a shoe-in. So Germany's number 2 for us. They're so strong. But
speaking of rolling on the ground when they get tackled, mate.
Our boy Neymar.
Sorry, Talis.
Our boy Neymar. Sorry, Talis. Yeah. Our boy Talis. But it's got to be, whenever someone talks about football...
You mentioned football.
It's Brazil. It's Brazil. Okay? Yeah. You have to think Brazil.
It's hand in hand, man.
Yeah, there's no other national team that garners the same respect, the same history,
same reverence,
same flair and reverence that Brazil does. I mean, they've won 5 World Cups, which is number 1 in the world, obviously.
Yeah.
9 Copa Americas, which is kind of a bit, I guess...
A bit less, than you'd expect, considering they won 5 World Cups.
Yeah, but I mean, 9 Copa Americas is no slouch sort of result there. So, I mean, they're doing great, but when you think
they changed football, man. They changed the way football was played to like a very passing-oriented, very kind of sexy football.
Sexy football. I mean, they've got Ronaldo, they've had Rivaldo, they've got
Ronaldinho.
I mean, anyone who ends in an O and they're amazing. It's probably played for Brazil.
Yeah.
Roberto Carlos, one of the greatest backs of all time. Yeah. His shot was incredible.
Still got
I mean, there's just so many great players who play for them. Neymar, again, gets a lot of flack, and he does roll around like an idiot sometimes, but
he's class still.
Neymar is still, he's been in the top 10 players for about 10 years now, so he's a great player. There's just, and even their national league is great as well. We don't see it as much in Australia, but it's a great league, the Brazilian league. And
honestly, man, you can't argue. You can't argue that Brazil's in the top 10.
There's something special, and even for us, I mean, just the fact that when we watched the Socceroos play Brazil in a World Cup, that was a special moment. I don't care if we lost. The fact that you saw the Socceroos lining up against Brazil, that almost brought a tear to my eye, because it just gives me goosebumps now thinking about it, because they're just something special about them. They're almost angelic.
Agreed, mate.
So it's a pretty clear list for us, but if you think we've missed somebody, or you think we've, should be shifting the list around a bit, make sure you let us know in the comments. Make sure you know how stupid you think we are.
Exactly.
And get in on the conversation, have some fun, check out the other content they have in Football Worldwide, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Thanks, guys.